Hello and welcome to Bandy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young, and I'm one of your dreamy, magical hosts. Joining me as always is our other dreamy and magical host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
Um, so I'm going back to Mexico for
Okay,
more stem cells
nice.
on Wednesday.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So still feeling not good, want to be
Hmm.
feeling way better. So I'm getting like I did 50 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's like not. The first t time I went down what in like May, and I was like, how much can I get for this certain amount of money? And they were like, you can get 150 million. And I was like, fucking, let's do it. So I may not feel great for a few days after that, but the
Okay.
hope is that that'll really start to change how much I'm napping
Yeah, that's good. Okay, fingers
and the
crossed.
crushing fatigue that I'm
Yeah, that would be
constantly living under. So
that would be nice. I
yeah,
would very much like to see that. Yeah. So
yes,
okay, I'm hopeful. Okay, I had no idea like that's the sort of quantities you're. I mean, I understand that's probably still a in terms of what it actually is tiny, but like still
it
that's
sounds like a lot. Yeah.
sounds like a lot of
And then we have a friend who it's sad. His mom just passed away. She was like, I think I mentioned this before. She was like 98 years old. And my friend is keeping her apartment in New York,
it.
in
Okay,
Manhattan. And he was like,
okay,
if you and Harper are going to be there in September, why don't you just stay
okay,
at my place? And I was
nice.
like, okay. So I looked and I was like, this guy to save like $2,000. That it sneeze. Andy's
It's
got to
not. It's
sneeze,
gone
guys.
now. It's
Oh
gone
no, I'm
now.
sorry. I'm
It's fine. It's
sorry.
fine. I'm
It's the
trying so
worst
close.
feeling.
It's
I
alright.
hate that. I
I
hate
know.
that feeling. So yeah, so good things out of not so good things. I don't know. Life is just weird right now, but
Yeah, it sure is.
yes.
Um. Yeah, like I feel like there's always a kind of a rush for a lot of people that have excitement about the summer, but summer always feels kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it does to me too. I was reading an article about like how summertime sadness is a real thing.
I believe it.
And it's like you want to be doing all the things, you want to be, like having the quintessential Instagram summer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because now we're comparing ourselves to everybody else's lives and vacations, and like it's not just a Lana Del Rey song.
More's the pity.
Uh-huh.
Um yeah, yeah, it's kind of fucked like it is. It's really not good at all. But it's I mean it's why I try to like limit myself so much because it just makes me like see like and I'm pretty good now if I'm like scrolling through Instagram or whatever, pretty quickly going, nope, stop doing this, go and do whatever else, literally
Anything
anything
e-
else.
anything else.
Yeah, start smashing your head and yourself in the face with a hammer is an
Mhm.
improvement, which I don't do, Can't I can't damage the moneymaker,
That's right.
right?
What's the
Yeah.
crack with you?
So, like I was telling Beth beforehand, there's been a bit of a heat wave recently, and it's kind of like any of our American listeners will look at the
The number.
numbers and be like, "Whoa, these are rookie numbers," but it's hot for us, especially for a country where like air conditioning is very, it's very unusual. Some houses have it, but it is very unusual. So it's like, it's pretty rough and it's tough to kind of sleep in this heat. Um, I so it's one of the reasons why I went to see Certain Man at the weekend. I've got a few different things to tell you about,
Okay.
but I went
Okay.
to see Certain Man on the weekend, and I was like,
Yay.
hooray! Because like movie theaters tend to have air conditioning. They didn't switch it on for whatever reason, so it was hot as fuck in
Oh
there.
my God.
Ugh,
That's a rule about movie theaters is they have to be freezing.
absolute bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I really liked it. It's like really weird, very nerdy. I really like because like it definitely is setting up some stuff, but that felt very minor. and it felt like a lived-in sort of complete universe. Even the setup at the start of the movie, there's a bit of like text basically saying, metahumans have been around for a while. Superman has been around for 3 years, and so he has had a bit of time, but he's still fairly new. Um, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's chaotic, but I really think that they do a good job of handling all the different stories and different characters and kind of making them all have interesting and fun things to do.
Hmm. So we're rewatching the original four
Oh,
Superman movies
hmm.
with Christopher Reeve. So we've done one and two. And I will say, like, there's definitely like some plot holes where like, why did like how did he get be he picked up a green crystal and now he's got his powers back? Like what? And like,
Yes.
why is Gene Hackman so evil? Like Lex Luthor, and like, what's the origin story around that? So I'm assuming James Gunn gave you a little more info about
I,
like not
yes.
just wanting to be evil for no reason.
I think one of the big problems with the original movies and like with nearly all of the Superman movies prior to this, even like the recent-ish ones like Man of Steel, is that there's like not a ton of appetite for really leaning into the weird shit. Like, because what's
Hmm.
great about this in particular is like Crypto's in it.
Yeah.
And like Crypto is Superman's dog, who has also got superpowers, if people don't know, and he rocks.
Yeah.
It is a great addition. And like,
I,
sorry, go on.
I heard he stole the movie.
Oh, he's really fantastic. He rocks. Nearly every time he's in, it's great. Um, and he is a sweet boy, but he's also a troublemaker. He's a really big troublemaker. Um, but really good. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like, and it's like, because what I have been saying with the original films, there had been a real hesitation to do any of the weirder shit. And like when they do, like General Zod, for example, it kind of works well, but like, they don't. They're so fearful of like even though the central premise is weird and strange, but it's like, oh, we can't have any of his weird rogues gallery because we don't want to be seem too strange. Um, but yeah, it's very, very good and very yeah, again, really leans into the insanity of the comic book world in a great way.
Awesome.
So yeah. Um, the other thing was we had, I think I've talked about this before, we had the 12th of July celebrations over here over the weekend.
What
So
is that? What is
oh,
that? Is that
I will give you
having to
like
do with the Troubles?
yes, kind of. So
Okay. Okay.
basically for the nationalist community, am I right, or unionist? I'm the worst Protestant
It's okay.
ever.
It's
I,
okay. You're
I,
talking to someone that knows nothing, so
I,
whatever you say, I
I will
believe.
get abuse about this from people. And so basically, the Protestants kind of side of things has a celebration on the 12th of July every year, and it's a celebration of a battle.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought I heard barking. A celebration
That's
of a
okay.
battle where a Protestant force essentially beat a Catholic force. And as part connected to that, they have like bonfires, and they have like these big bonfires, and the bonfires are set up all across the north, and they light them on the 11th night, and then on the 12th there's parades with bands and things like that playing. So
Didn't you? So do you remember when you took me to that the very top hill lookout point
mhm,
where we could see like Belfast and Carrickfergus, and you were telling me like about some day that happens every year, and you can go up there and you could just see like fires
yes,
all over. Okay.
that's it exactly, yeah.
See, I
um
listened.
you do listen to it, like, it's such a load of bollocks, and it's just completely meaningless to me anyway.
Hmm.
Various parts of the um various towns in particular really go all out, and one of the places, so I was going to visit a friend on the Friday night, which was the 11th night when the fires were lit, and we went and had a drink, and I dropped him off, and in his town in Larne they have a big celebration, and he's like, do you want to go down and have a look? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. So we got a bit closer, and we walked in. They had bumper cars like Dodgems that
Yeah.
you right. They had a ghost house. They
Okay.
had a colossal, those rides you find at amusement parks that like lift you up really high and drop you
And
down.
drop
They
you.
had like in terms of freestanding one that's not like, one that like is clearly transported there. I've never seen one as big. And it was just this big, like glowing, like it was lit up like a Christmas tree. Um, and they also had like a DJ stage, DJs playing. They had like food trucks. They had like, trucks selling Union Jack flags and everything. And it was just fucking wild. And like I get the biggest bonfire I've seen, like I think in the north for sure. I'm going to send you a video of this afterwards, and you can maybe
Okay.
share it so people can see this. But it
Okay.
was just kind of wild because like it's not, I am from that side of the fence, but I don't give a shit about any because a lot of it seems so rooted in divisiveness, and like that's not, I don't care about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of avoid a lot of it and have for many, many years. But it's kind of
Good.
fascinating to
Good
see,
strategy.
right? But it is kind of fascinating to see, and it's kind of fascinating how like much of a kind of festival it was down there because I don't think I've ever seen that before. So very interesting. So that was the kind of my weekend. That's kind of what has been happening since I last saw you.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
do you have any questions actually before we
I
move on?
mean, I guess do you think the majority of people are like celebrating
Mm, that's a good
or they're
question. The
is it like
majority, I don't know. I'd say quite a lot. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I really don't. Like, I'm so disconnected from it. Like, I really have no idea. I know it's important in my town. It's important in, like I say, Larne and a few other places. In Antrim, the county that I'm in, there's a lot of towns that it is quite important for them, but it's never been that important for me. So like I just I feel a bit disconnected from it. So I feel like support and like the desire for it is dying out, but they were trying to like diversify and make it like more inclusive and things like that. And I'm like, I
uh-huh.
don't know. It feels so rooted in like there's like not that bonfire I was at, not which isn't to say it was a good one necessarily, but like some of the bonfires had a boat of immigrants, a dummy boat of immigrants on top of the bonfire. Like they have like Irish flags from the south of Ireland flags attached to it. So there is a very much a
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it's not chill. So and I don't
It
want to be any
feels,
part of
I don't
that.
know, it feels like familiar to what's going on in the States right now.
Yeah. Just pitting people against each other, and this is your
Hmm.
enemy. This person that or this group that you know nothing about because you never
Hmm.
interact with them. They're your enemy.
Hmm.
Okay, it's fucked. But yeah, so it's like as I say, I went into that to just check it out, and it was like fascinating to see, and I didn't feel unsafe because it was like such, but it was such a weird mixture of like people really drunk and also like families and stuff. So it
Yeah.
was just such an odd combination, but it's still not, I wouldn't imagine that you could come from a different country and feel super welcome there necessarily. So yeah, an odd one, odd experience.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Weird.
weird indeed. Um, but yeah, do you have any what's occurring for us this week?
I do not. Do you?
I do not know.
Okay.
All right, so we get into uh this week's episode.
Yes.
So do you want me to talk a little bit about it first?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh so Beth and I have been having discussions about the direction we want to take the podcast in. We both love movies. We've kind of chopped around a lot of ideas that involve those. So what we're going to try to do with this episode is maybe try a new format. We're going to call this episode the movie test of time, Willow, because what we're going to be doing and what our idea is that we're going to look at movies from our childhood that we watched, that we loved, or maybe that we haven't seen before, and see if they still kind of stand up today, and just kind of like analyze them and see how we feel about them.
Hmm.
Um, having and doing that, we love feedback from you folks. If there's any thoughts on that, if you miss the old format, or if you still think it sounds good, if you have suggestions for movies we could do, we would love to hear all of that.
Yes. And we're still going to keep Andy's down with the streets
Of
and all that.
course.
The fun bits are
Yeah,
still going to be here.
we're still
But
gonna have the up top stuff. Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. But yeah, we're just going to try this out and see how it goes because we want to watch more movies and
Yeah,
talk about them. So
exactly.
change is hard. but we can adjust.
Exactly. And like, we've also said like it's not necessarily set in stone. We might just keep this for a while. We might see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the title of our podcast is Bendy and it has been being flexible.
Yeah,
And I feel like this is just continuing on with that. So yeah, so we'll see how it
exactly.
goes.
Yes. So yeah, so we got to watch Willow,
Yeah.
um, which came out in I don't know what year,
At 1988, I believe.
1988. Okay. So just like a quick synopsis,
Yeah.
and you can tag in here with me. Basically it's like a world that Ron Howard, the director, created. Well, that's not true, actually. So,
George Lucas created it, I think, didn't he?
George Lucas wrote the screenplay,
Yeah. Is
and
this, yeah, sorry, go on.
so it's basically, kind of like in Lord of the Rings, where there's all these different types of communities and people, and they all look different, and some are big and some are little. Um, I've got all these facts that I want to start like rambling off, and I'm not going to do that. But
Okay.
basically, um, there is a prophecy that a baby will grow up and kill the queen. And so the queen is rushing around trying to find all the little baby. It's a baby girl that has like is born with a certain birthmark. And that's what the prophecy says. So they're trying to find the baby, killing all the babies, and
It's not chill.
it's not chill. Yeah, it's like watching it with the kids, and they're like, "Is the baby gonna die?" And I'm like, "No, no, no." So this is gonna be full of spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen Willow. You totally should because it's great. But um, so one woman decides to do the right thing and helps this lady who has the baby with the marking, the birthmark, and sends her down the river. And the castle finds out, chasing, chasing, chasing. And basically, this family of, they're called Nelwyns,
Yeah.
find the baby on the side of the creek and decide to bring her back to the town.
Hmm.
And they're, you know, th basically these dogs are hunting and
Yeah.
find the town, and they decide that someone has to get this human baby to the human area of, the world.
Yes.
And so it's an adventure story,
Yeah.
and
It's about Willow's adventure then trying to kind of deliver Alora Dana and the baby kind of safely and the kind of like trials and tribulations he gets into along the way.
yeah. He doesn't know about the prophecy or any of that or the
Hmm.
danger that lies ahead. Um, so it's interesting too to see how he grows and develops throughout the movie and becomes, a great magician
Yeah. Yeah,
and saves the world. So,
he
and the
does.
baby.
And the baby, all the above with some simple parlor magic.
Yes. So, so, so it was directed by Ron Howard,
Uh-huh.
um, who has also directed movies like Backdraft, Parenthood, Cocoon, Apollo 13, and Splash. And that's just like the ones that I liked. But I think he won an Academy Award for A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, I think he did.
Um, and yeah, George Lucas. So this is a fun fact. George Lucas wrote the script, I think, while he was filming Star Wars, and he was working with Warwick Davis, who plays Willow on Star Wars, because he was playing an Ewok, and George Lucas literally like wrote this for him
Yeah.
in mind.
Which kind of rules. I do love that about it. I must say. I just, we were just talking about Ron Howard. What do you think of Ron Howard as a director?
I think that's a great question. Um,
I think he has some undeniably great movies,
yes.
but I think that he feels more like a journeyman director rather than like an auteur or like a real sort of like like a I mean. Ridley Scott, I guess, or like somebody who works in these big movies, but feels like they are doing their own thing in some kind of way.
I will say his movies are so varied,
They are.
right? Like Apollo 13 was something like I don't know if I would watch that
Yes.
again necessarily, but it was such a good movie, but it's kind of I don't know. Um, I think I think he is I really kind of dig his stuff. I think it's really varied, and I was surprised to see like oh he did he I think he likes to immerse himself in like a subject, you
Yeah.
know, like firefighting
It's true.
and learning all about that. And I don't know if you've seen Backdraft before, but
I really like
it's
Backdraft. Yeah.
yeah, it's one I might want to add to our list of things to watch. Um,
I also think that like I think that Frost Nixon's incredible. I think
yes,
that Rush is fantastic. I really love Rush as well. Um, but like I'm just going through other stuff and I'm kind of like, there's some stuff.
yeah,
I really like Cocoon as well, actually, for that matter.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but like there's definitely some stuff I'm like, oh no, I don't. I mean, like I'm
yeah.
not a fan of the what do you call them? Angels and Demons, Dan Brown movies, those sorts of
Hmm.
things. So
Hmm.
like it's a definitely a roller coaster ride of a career.
Oh, right. Did he do the Da Vinci Code?
He did.
Uh,
Yeah, I know.
uh.
That's my
Like I
favorite Da Vinci
remember,
Code.
yeah, yeah, no. And like he did another one, and I can't remember, but it's like basically like he tackled Moby Dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like Chris Hemsworth and like a young Tom Holland and Cillian Murphy is also in
Oh,
it.
that's in the Heart of the Sea. That one
Yeah,
is that it?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yep, yep. So I'm just like, how can you go from like Splash to Moby Dick, right?
yeah,
Or so, like, so it's just interesting that he can take on small projects like being the voice of the narrator for Arrested Development,
yeah,
and then turn around and be like, oh, now I'm going to make a movie about Moby Dick, right?
yeah. It does rock, and he has a an enviable career, I would say, and one that he really does seem to do a lot of things, and more power to him for that.
Yeah. Like, did you watch the episode of him in the studio?
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah, like he basically like he's kind of known as like one of the nicest people in Hollywood, but plays like a complete dick
Yeah, he
in
does. It's
the
great.
in the show The Studio. So it's like, yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was pretty wonderful.
Hmm.
I love it. No, that's cool. So, uh,
Do
I was all.
you
Mhm.
go ahead?
No, I was going to say about. No, I think we're going to get to this. So, sorry, ask your question.
Well, I guess did you like when you first heard the music, were you like, oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
this?
that is one of the things I've written down and I wanted to talk about. I feel
Yeah.
like two of the places in particular, the Nelwyn music,
Hmm.
the Village Celebration, I think it's literally called the Nelwyns. I've written
Yes.
down the two tracks that I love. The Nelwyn
Yeah.
song is sensational. I think that Willow's theme is also absolutely gangbusters. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like they're all timers. And I was like, oh, John Williams is on one. And then I was like, oh no, wait a minute, it's James Horner.
James Horner.
Yeah,
So James Horner's also done Titanic,
yeah,
Avatar, Aliens, Field of Dreams. It goes on and on and on and
yeah,
on and on. Um, Sadly, he's passed away.
yeah.
But
And but also another incredible
yeah.
composer, like he truly is. But
So
like, they were so good, and they were such so transporting for me hearing those, like back
yeah,
to being a kid in particular, more than
yeah,
any of the visuals.
same. I had the same like as soon as the theme song started playing at the
Oh,
beginning of the movie, and I was like, oh right.
yeah,
Like I want to get my jammies,
yeah.
my footed jammies. Um, so were you okay, like did you find the world that they created to be believable?
I my I here's what I struggled with. I feel like it was poorly defined. I
Hmm.
feel like it's really frustrating, and I really kind of wrestled with this a lot because there's a lot of stuff I love. So, for example, I love the fact I just love things like calling humans dakinis. It's something I'm going to start doing whenever people annoy me. Start calling them stupid fucking dakinis.
Yes. Yes.
It's just great. There's just like I like the brownies are fun, like they're kind of irritating, but they're also not. Like it's
Yeah.
just there's lots of fun individual pieces. I just don't feel they fit together super well. Like one of my big sort of issues with it was that like, I feel like maybe the filmmakers thought that too because that's why there's like an opening crawl at the start because I feel like it's not very clear. Like you vaguely understand what the stakes are, but in terms of this larger world, it's really unclear.
Yeah.
Like you think about Star Wars and you have, the Empire and the Rebellion, and it's like, okay, good guys, bad guys. Obviously, Empire good guys, Rebellion bad guys, right?
Right.
That's how it works,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and then, but like in this, like, at one point, you meet an opposing army, like I guess one of the good guys' armies, and like they say the name of the army, but it's meaningless. Who are these people? Who do they represent? What are they fighting against?
Hmm.
And I feel like there's a bit too much of that for me, and it's
Hmm.
such a shame because as I think there's so many individual components that are wonderful. I just wish that they all fitted together a bit better.
Hmm. Do you think if the movie was longer, like Lord of the Rings just broke it up into a trilogy?
Yeah, I think so. I think yeah, if he had, yeah, I think that would probably would work if he thought of it as a trilogy and just like done more setup in the first movie.
Hmm.
Because I feel. Even Willow's journey as a sorcerer feels like it's just on its first steps within this movie, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Like it happened too fast.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah. And, this was back when movies were like 90 minutes
Yeah.
because that was apparently how long people will be able to sit in a seat. And
That's
now
about
we're in
my
like
attention span,
the
yeah.
3.5 hour,
I'm so bummed
per,
out by that when I'm like,
yeah.
look at it, I see a runtime and I'm like, motherfucker, why is this 3 hours? Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I was willing to overlook the kind of haphazardness, yeah, of the world. I thought that the Nelwyn village,
Yeah.
like the way that they put that together was really believable and just that everybody had jobs and, you
Yeah.
know, you knew who the asshole in town was. And
I such
I
a
got a
prick.
sense, I hate Virgo
Hated him.
gut.
Yeah.
I know. Um, but I also found out that Nelwyn is Welsh for beautiful people, which I
Oh, that's
liked.
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
It sounds like Welsh, yeah.
okay. Um, but yeah, I agree that it was a little. I just yeah, the arc of the journey was a little not arky, I guess.
Yes.
It's
It's kind of bumpy.
yeah,
Yeah. It didn't flow super well, and I feel like it just, initially, and I guess this was a way to kind of introduce Mad Mardigan, but there's a scene like there's probably about 15, 20 minutes of the movie where they're just like sitting in the same place for ages. And I'm
yes,
just like, okay, let's get things moving again here, shall
yeah.
we?
So they're sitting at the crossroads, right? So they decide that they're going to send, a team of Nelwyns with the
Hmm.
baby to find the Dakinis and give the baby to a Dakini, right?
Yeah.
Get her back to her people. Um, so they end up at this crossroads where they meet this other character, Mad Mardigan, who's played by Val Kilmer, one of my favorite characters of all time, I
Oh, it's
think.
incredible.
I know. I was like, like the hair, the fact that he's running around wearing a woman's dress for the entire movie. It's just like,
Tremendous.
yeah, uh, great character, great comic relief.
I honestly think my love of this film is purely due to Mad Mardigan. I think that is why I like it.
Hmm.
And like, I think if he wasn't in it, there wouldn't be very much to like pull me in, really. But
Yeah,
he's so magnetic and he's so good in it.
yeah. Um, so but also I was thinking about the crossroads itself, right? Because you're at this point of, you know, I think when they meet Mad Mardigan, that's kind of where the story turns,
Yeah.
and they are no longer in charge of their own destiny, right? They're inviting other people in on their adventure, and that creates, you know, different catastrophes and moves the story along. But so in folklore, crossroads, so I wrote this down, may represent a location between worlds, which I feel like this was. Um, and they were sitting there for a really long time. And it's like there's all these like cages where they like put people to die, basically. And that's, where Mad Mardigan is, and he's trying to get them to let him out. But it's also a site where supernatural spirits can be contacted and paranormal events can take place. Symbolically, it can mean a locality where two realms touch and therefore
Mm.
represents a liminality, a place literally neither here nor there and betwixt and between. And like reading that and then like I rewatched that part because I was kind of like move the story along and then I was like, no, this is important because this is really kind of the
It does introduce a lot of stuff, and it's a good
yeah.
opportunity to meet a lot of like characters.
Hmm.
As I say, I just feel like, and I do agree with you on that, but like, I feel like, meeting with, you learn a bit about Mad Mardigan because you meet Eric or Eric or whatever his name is,
Hmm.
and he's like with this other army. But like I say, I just wish they had done. Maybe I want this film to be a bit longer. I wish they had done a bit more work and establishing who they were, what they
Yeah.
were fighting, what they were
Yeah.
fighting for. You
Yeah.
know,
Because they were fight. Yeah, that was unclear. They were just fighting, and then they were like, "Oh, now we're gonna help fight for
because they talk about this
this."
castle getting wiped out, and then that's where they're going, and he like tells him about that, and he's like shocked. But again, it feels fairly meaningless to us as the audience members. It's just so unclear what that is, who it
Yeah,
belongs to. So it's
yeah,
hard to care.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um. So, what did you think of the visual effects?
Pretty great. So like it's interesting because I've been talking to you about that. I talked recently to you about Light and Magic, which is about the studio that made those visual effects. So like it's as I was watching the film and the opening credits came up, I was like, I recognize all the names of the special effects guys. Which is kind of nuts. But like ropey, but there's some great ones. Like I think that the back then, the green screen stuff, like the monster in the castle
Yeah,
and the trolls looked a bit
yeah,
ropey.
yeah.
I did
What's
think
ropey mean?
not great,
Okay,
I would say.
ropey. Huh.
And but I did think that like some of it, like I really thought the whenever he was attempting to change Finn Roselle back into her human form. I
Hmm.
thought a lot of those changes between animals was really worked quite well. Like certainly for its time, still kind of holds up.
So, fact about that, that was the first movie where they actually tried to morph
As
a
the,
being
yes,
from one thing to another to another.
there was like an early
And
CGI experiment, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was your ladies and gents at Light and Magic.
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
ILM,
ILM.
ICM? ILM.
ILM is the full
Okay.
Industrial Light and Magic is the full name of it. But yeah, so look, I thought not distractingly bad, but I especially that monster in the castle, just the green screen stuff back then.
Yeah.
It looked so fake. It was hard to
Yeah.
take fully seriously. But apart from that, pretty good.
Yeah. I
What do you think?
the I had a hard time with the brownies. They're the
Yes,
little tiny people. Um they're I know they're supposed to be comic relief. They're kind of
sure,
annoying.
I get it.
They're there. But you could definitely tell that they did their best, but
Yes,
it was clear that, there was a lot of green screen going on there too.
I thought. Um, I thought what I did like about yeah, I totally hear you that. Do I did like the brownies? I think what kept me in it with the brownies was like especially the kind of like antagonistic relationship they had with Mad Mardigan and stuff like that, which I
Yes.
thought was all
Yes.
consistently very funny. Like he kept like
Yes.
kicking dirt at them and whatever. It was always great. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm, it's say in terms of like I'm interested in in them seeing the building blocks for them pushing the envelope with digital effects. So I think it's a
hmm
fascinating kind of like from that point of view, it's fascinating to kind of see this,
Yeah, I thought so too. So for the time, I would, I would say overall, I mean, I'm nitpicking it, but I thought it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it definitely
I
is.
stole the baby.
Yes,
I
it's so
stole the
good.
baby. Right.
On the Eagle, amazing. It's so
Uh,
I'm watching I've started watching RoboDoc, which is a documentary about RoboCop. It's like
ooh,
four parts, and each part's nearly movie length. It gets in total, it's going to be at least twice the length of the actual movie, but it's very good so far. But
okay.
they are talking about the 209 animations in that, which is really interesting because they're about, I think they're about a year apart. If maybe they're very close in terms they're a couple of years apart with RoboCop and Willow. So it's even interesting to see that, seeing that after just having seen Willow and seeing kind of like the improvements and things like that were made,
hmm
but it's
hmm
it's very cool.
Um, did you notice, like, I guess was the story different enough from other things? Did you notice like common themes
I feel like it
with
is.
other stories or movies?
I feel like, certainly with the Elves and stuff like that, that conceptually feels like a big lift from, I'd say more The Hobbit than Lord of the Rings. Like,
hmm
I mean, like obviously there's not the baby aspect, but there is, this kind of sheltered race of creatures going out into the world, having an adventure type of thing, finding themselves.
hmm
Um, like even I think about the I can't remember how he does it in The Hobbit, but like the trolls that Bilbo turns into stone, and like also Willow have these acorns that turn people, they just feel like there's a lot of hallmarks there. And I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, it's a rip off, it's a rip off. I do understand that, people take inspiration from things, and you can take inspiration from something, do a spin on it, and it can feel really fresh and original. But like I feel watching this with adult eyes, I saw too many of the influences too much, really. I think
Yeah.
even like obviously it's come from George Lucas. I think there's a lot of similarities to Star Wars in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah. 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 I was reading just what, other people's commentary, and they were comparing it to Star Wars. I was like also looking at it from like the Disney lens, right?
Yeah,
Evil queen, wanting to
yeah,
have all the power, um, and prophecy. It
yes,
just felt very kind of like Disney-esque, I guess, a little bit for me.
absolutely, yes, very absolutely. Like even like a lot of the old kind of fairy stories and stuff as well. Like a wee bit of
hmm
Snow White, a
hmm
wee bit of Cinderella. I can
Exactly.
see a lot of those things.
Yeah. And then, but also, I think it was I love a good hero's journey
Yes,
story. And I think that, I liked that, Mad Mardigan was like the unlikely hero.
yes,
And you're like, how is this going to go? But he ends up, being a good Dakini.
yes,
And I also thought it was a lot about like fatherhood, honestly, and
yeah,
like putting someone else, before you, and really um just watching. I don't know how they got that baby to like be as cute and like responsive.
true.
Um, Good job, baby, for acting so well.
Good baby acting, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have, put that baby up for an Oscar, man. It was totally believable.
It was a very good baby actor, I must say. Um, yeah, I think that um, I enjoyed it rewatching it again, but like I think I was just frustrated that things didn't just fit nicer. I feel like it could have done with a wee bit more time, maybe in script or something like that, and I felt that like they did the Mad Mardigan disappears and returns thing a few too many times. Like I think
Yeah.
once is maybe enough, honestly. And
Yeah.
I feel like they could have moved things around a wee bit so that it only really needed to happen once. Um, because like for Willow being the main character and he didn't feel, I don't know, the thrust of the kind of story didn't seem to like revolve around him as much as it should have for somebody who's a main character.
Hmm.
I think that's why I felt it felt a bit disjointed to me.
I think if they had focused more on his journey to like really becoming a powerful sorcerer
Yes,
and less on, I don't know. I don't know what you could do less of because you've only got 90 minutes, but that story arc could have been really cool.
I agree. Yeah. I,
Um,
no, I think
and
so
it's
too.
like, yeah.
I think there's
Uh,
a lot of false starts, and I don't think you really need quite as many of them.
yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Um, so there was a scene, it's like, okay, because it's us, we do what we do, and I'm gonna go in a random direction.
Do
But
it.
there's a scene where they're on the top of the mountain, and all of a sudden, like they're sledding down and they're
Yeah.
escaping some, right? And then like Mad Mardigan becomes this giant snowball, like he's rolling down the hill and he like runs into the town. So I worked at a college for a decade, and this is in the newspaper, so I worked at Reed College in Portland, and the students did these two math majors decided they were going to build a giant snowball and roll it down the hill.
Okay.
And it was like so big that I made the paper. Calculation error, math majors send massive snowball rolling into dorm. Two math majors at Reed College lost control of a massive snowball that rolled into a dorm, knocking out part of a bedroom wall. No one was
Whoa.
injured. Yeah. I was working there at the time, and like we're all like looking down the hill and there's this huge snowball, and like yeah. So you can build a snowball so big that it can knock down a wall.
It's kind of fascinating. So it really should have Mad Mardigan Snowball should have easily taken out that wooden hut, is what we're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like I think that sequence is a such a summation of my both things I love about that film and my frustrations with it because like that especially at the end felt kind of silly and dumb. Also, I don't know whether you noticed, but whenever like Bob Mardigan and Willow were on the sled, there
Uh-huh.
was a few shots. There was a very clearly a dummy, like Willow,
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
really obvious dummy,
Yes.
and I'm like, come on,
Yes.
guys. Is this the one that want to use? But like, I feel like just before that, um, you have a scene which is glued into my memory because, like, there's been so much about like when we first meet Mad Mardigan. Is he the real deal? Is he just a shyster? Is he like actually a great warrior? And he like fights off a few people. And Willow just looks up at him and goes, "You are great." And he kind of smiles and swings the sword around and he falls on his ass. And it's such a perfect character moment. Like it really is beautiful. And again, then it's just undercut by some daft shit directly afterwards.
Yeah. Then you were immediately annoyed.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm hearing some
Um,
barking.
there I hear a little something going on in the background. Um, so I have some fun facts.
Hmm.
So Warwick Davis, who plays Willow, guess how old he was when they were shooting?
Oh, I know this.
Okay.
17.
17 years old
Do you, do you
with
know this
two
other? So,
children and a wife.
yes. Do you know how old the actress who was playing his wife was? Do you want to
No.
hazard a guess?
They're in her like 20s, 30s? No, how old?
So
40s?
her, um, she had been an actress prior to this, and she only acted in a handful of things.
I
Um,
loved her in this.
she was great.
She stole the scenes. She was so believable and sweet. And like when she cut her hair and like gave it to him, I cried.
So nobody's exactly sure what age she was, but they think that she was somewhere between 47 and 50 years of age.
Seriously?
Yeah. So we've
Like
got,
Willow had acne. He had like
yeah,
pubescent acne. I
So
because I looked at the and then I looked at his face and I was like, oh yeah, he's totally got pimples.
so we've got to grapple with the very real possibility that Willow was groomed,
Yeah, we do.
right?
Gross.
It is gross. I mean, because like his children were like talking, so like
Yeah,
if Nelwyn's advanced the same way that Dakinis do, Dick's
right.
kids were like 3 or 4 years old, so like he was having kids at 13. That's not okay. That is not okay. So yeah. So that's something that we need to like, I think we need to like write to Ron Hart about and take him to task about that.
Um, yeah.
Right?
You're right. Yeah. Dear Ron.
Dear
Okay.
Ron, do better.
So
Uh-huh.
so they did like an audio commentary and were they asked like Warwick Davis what he thought about working what it was like to work with Val Kilmer.
Hmm.
So I'm going to just read this. Warwick Davis explains that the question he gets asked the most what it was like working with Val. During the 1990s, Kilmer had developed a reputation of as being an actor who was difficult, if not impossible, to work with.
Yep.
However, Davis said that he had very fond memories of working with Kilmer, describing him as having a great, wacky sense of humor and being very passionate and dedicated to the job. Kilmer also ad-libbed much of his dialogue.
That kind of makes sense. It really
I love
feels
it. Yeah.
raw. It's
Yeah.
because like so when he passed away recently, the only Ellen podcast that I've talked about recently a lot did a tribute episode to him because a lot of them had worked with him before, specifically on
Wow.
The MacGruber movie. He played MacGruber's nemesis, who was called Conth. I don't know if you remember this.
I've never seen
Anyway,
it. Cunt.
it's Conth. Yeah, it's Cunte. Um, and the only thing that he pushed back against was a scene where MacGruber cut his dick off and made him eat it, and he refused to do that apparently. So yeah, so he has some standards, but they ended up, and then they also on that episode because Will Forte on MacGruber had worked with him quite a bit. He recounted a story where basically Val Kilmer, they kind of knew each other as a result, had a relationship, and Val Kilmer like moved in with him for like 3 months, and it everything about that is absolutely wild. It's an episode worth tracking down. The stories in there are fantastic because it's like
Okay.
they're like he was just a true eccentric. But he was an absolutely wonderful dude, and they talk about like all of them have stories about basically he walked whenever they were working with him. He arrived, he had this like lovely shirt on, and like Will Forte was like, "Oh, that shirt's beautiful. I really like it. Where did you get it?" He goes, "Oh," and just took it off and he just gave it to him. And he had nothing on underneath. He just gave him the shirt and was like, "Yeah, it's yours now." And so like it's just he sounds like as I say a true eccentric, so which I would imagine would be hard to work with, but it
Mhm.
sounds like he was a pretty wonderful human being in some ways.
Mhm. I think by the end of his life, I think he made peace with a lot. I read something else because he played Doc Holliday in
Yep.
Tombstone,
Oh, so good.
and there's the one scene where he's got to like do something cool with his guns and like flip them around, and he was so like I think he was still drunk from the night before, and everyone was all worried like, oh no, like he's not gonna be able to do this, and like one scene, one take kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. He was
Oh,
like, it was almost better, right?
oh yeah.
And it
Then
was
that
more
makes sense
believable
for Doc Holliday
because he was like,
anyway.
yeah, supposed to have tuberculosis and like, I don't know,
Was an
such a good,
alcoholic, I think. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Love it.
yep.
So do you have so I've got another wee segment. I don't know if there's any other things you want to talk about in general, but I've got another wee segment I want to do.
I have one thing,
Hmm.
I guess, like, what did you learn from watching the movie?
That's a good question. Yeah, like the first time round or on this rewatch or
Doesn't matter.
okay. Uh, I guess I learned how much Val Kilmer rules. I think it was probably my first experience with him, and like I was like, I love this guy. Who is he? I think I probably fell in love with Joanne Whalley a little bit.
Hmm.
Certainly my first time around, probably this time a little bit as well. She's absolutely
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
And she's a badass.
yeah, she rules. And yeah, like I think that, like I'm such a sci-fi guy. Like I do like some fantasy too, but I'm such a sci-fi guy versus fantasy. And I think that like I think that probably this was a such a, for me it was Star Wars. I liked Willow, but it was like I think the fact that it wasn't a sci-fi thing probably meant I didn't engage with it in the same way. So
Hmm.
it's just probably to me further reinforced my love of like sci-fi.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not a big fantasy person either. I have a hard time like I get annoyed I get annoyed at like the names, you know?
Yeah,
Like it just never like when people try and create these different worlds and like Nelwyns and Dakinis, I'm just
yeah,
like I don't understand. I don't get
yeah.
it. It's not my
That
jam.
that makes sense. It really
But
does.
not to say that other people shouldn't enjoy it. It's just I read nonfiction. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And and everybody likes what they like. And I think, I feel like there are definitely better examples of fantasy films that I really do have a lot of love for,
Yeah.
but it just, on the revisit, I did really enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but it was also, it felt lacking and frustrating in a lot of ways as well. I feel like that was my
Hmm.
original experience with it too. So like,
Hmm.
I don't, in terms of like, because we talked a bit about, would we recommend it? Would we, we'd recommend people rewatch it. And I would say if you have nostalgia for it, you probably will enjoy it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. But I
Yeah.
don't know how you feel about that.
I think like I remember being terrified of, the pack of dogs ch
Yeah,
chasing. I think as a child, they really did a good job of making it, you feel the urgency of the situation, but there's enough comedy infused that, that thank God for Mad Mardigan. Like the next animal I get, I'm naming it Mad Mardigan.
it's good.
Um, Rewatching it, I was like, we need George Lucas to write more and Ron Howard to make more movies. Like I'm always like, get out there, boys. If you're not doing something, like make more stuff for us.
I mean, like, and it's enjoyable for sure. And also, if you consider like George Lucas, Star Wars, George Lucas,
Yes.
Indiana Jones, like this
Yes.
guy smashed them out of the park. Like he
Yes.
was no slouch at all. And like
Mm-mm.
it's something that like that, like magic documentary has taught me is that like it doesn't, those things alone are fantastic, but what he's probably going to be remembered for is how he pushed forward like digital editing, sound design, like digital effects. You can debate on the merits of those things and whether they were a good thing for the movie industry, but they were still very important for it. And he would
Yeah.
like he really pushed filmmaking forward in like a lot of ways. So he's like an absolute, undeniably an incredible dude.
Yeah, I agree. I also think um a really good music score can completely change a movie.
Agree.
Yeah.
I think that this is so like I think that the score in general is fantastic, but those two pieces every time just are like, oh wow. Every time they come on,
Hmm.
I'm like, yes, this has pulled me right back in. When my attention has wavered, I hear
Yeah.
those songs and I'm like, hell
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, what surprise section are you adding?
Hold on a second. I hear dog
I
craziness.
heard it too.
Oh my God. Don't become a dog sitter, everyone at home. It's probably because like a human has dared walk past in the pavement outside my house.
Mm.
Uh, okay, so my section is called my due section. I want to do this section for every movie that we watch. It's called Too Legit to Fit.
Too legit to
The full name, because I wanted to make it succinct, right? Is and I'll read this out to you. Too legit to open comma. No, wait, open bracket. Look anything other than amazing in a variety of incredible close bracket fit open bracket s close bracket. So that was, I'm sure, very clear and concise.
Yeah, totally
For
understood
everybody
that.
back home, and everybody totally understands what I'm talking about. So basically, what I want us to do with this, Beth, is we talk about who had the best fits in the movies. What I'm
Ooh,
thinking about is we think about if we've got a
ooh.
particular fit that we like, but I think, we can maybe think about a character, we can judge it based on one character and their variety of fits. And I mean,
Mhm.
like, in my opinion, if we're doing that, there's only one answer. It's Mad
Mad
Martin.
Mardigan.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, everyone, like, literally, at one point, he is in a sack and he fashions the sack into a shirt and he looks fucking incredible.
Yes. And he fashioned a dress into shorts
It looks fucking incredible.
and looks fucking incredible. Even when he was locked up in the cage and had dirt teeth, looked
Looked
incredible.
incredible. His hair is on point
His hair
every
with it,
time.
like long hair with the braids, like
Yeah,
chewing on Blackroot. I was like, huh.
right. The open black shirt, incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's just
And then
sensational.
when he finds the like he finds this epic like armor that has like the blonde
Yeah,
tassel, and the kids are like, did he change his hair color? And I was like, no. They're like, what is that even? And I was like, to look scarier or something, right?
it's true.
Like, yeah,
Just fantastic throughout, like, really.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, absolutely wonderful. So I think, are we in agreement then? Do you have any other? I do have a kind of honorable runner-up mention. If I don't know if you got anybody else you want to talk about though, for in terms of their fits, obviously.
You know what I did like
Hmm.
was in the Nelwyn village when they were that there was like a group of Nelwyns that were attacking the dogs, and I really liked like the warrior wear, and they all had like obviously like everybody had a job and like they all worked together, and I don't know if it's necessarily like I don't know, the Nelwyn warriors I thought looked
Yes,
good.
they did. That was a great look as well, I think. And I think that I quite like Eric's look as well. Honestly, I thought
Hmm.
his hair was fantastic.
Yep.
I also want to say that they really did Joanne Wally dirty. I think her costume was terrible. Her helmet looked way too
Yeah.
big.
Yep.
Her armor did not look great at all.
No, it didn't.
So like I think they really did a number on her. My honorable mention has to go to Queen. What is it? Queen Bavmorda? Is it? Yeah,
Yes.
Bavmorda.
Yes.
Bavmorda, in that she seems to be dressed like a mummy.
Yeah. She like opens her dress and she's got like mummy wraps on.
Got mummy wraps on. I'm like, why? That's so impractical. How do you go to the
You know,
bathroom?
she's
But like,
harnessing the power of lightning.
but what I'm exact. That's
That's
true.
what you wear.
It's true. I just like she's embraced this look. She's going for it. Like, and she's not. She's just that's what she's doing, and I admire her for that. Even
Yeah.
though, as I say, it must be very difficult to go to the bathroom in,
Oh God.
right?
I don't even know how that would work.
But
These are the facts I actually need to know.
right? But I do admire her dedication to fashion.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Hmm.
So do we like that segment, or are we going to keep
I
that
do.
segment
I love
for?
it.
Okay, cool.
Keep it. Yep.
All right,
Yep. Yep.
perfect.
It works.
So yeah, I mean, we've already talked a little bit about. I say we both enjoyed it, but I don't think we're check it out.
It's not like Jurassic Park where it like, yeah, shook me and continues to make me feel all the feelings. And like, like, I have notes for this movie, right? Like Jurassic Park, I have no notes.
Yeah, I could not mix it to complete sense to me. Complete sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, so yeah,
I
as I say,
also
folks.
appreciate that like you're not like, I don't know. You really gave it some thought and you were like, I don't know, this doesn't quite fit. And like I was just kind of like watching it, and with my kids it was like nostalgic, right?
Yeah,
But I'm now going to be much more critical.
I think it was like actually that's not, I was just thinking about it here. I think that we should maybe have like a couple of different sort of like categories that we place them into at the end,
Yeah.
but we can think
Yeah.
about what that looks like. But
Yeah.
like I think that it is. I think that like. I remember not being completely blown away by it as a kid, but enjoying it, and I feel like it is still very much there. So it's not like I'm going back and going, "This is shit. What did I ever see in this?" I still enjoyed it. It was still an enjoyable couple of hours watching it, and as I said, if you fancy revisiting it, I do not think you'll be disappointed.
I agree with that.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Okay. So we move on to our penalty section.
Yes.
What's we bringing you joy this week?
This will make you happy.
Okay.
We're watching Light and Magic.
Oh, hell
It's
yeah.
so we just I watched the first episode,
Is Mike watching it
maybe
with you?
and the
Nice.
kids, and they're like,
Ooh,
it's blowing their
it's
minds.
so cool, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like their Harper, I think might actually like because I wish you could see her room. She's making things like
Cool. All
out of
right.
nothing. So like
Mm-hmm.
she's got these little like pudding cups, and out of a pudding cup, then she makes, like a little dragon house out
Yep.
of that,
That
right?
rocks.
So she's multi-talented, using all these. I don't know where she comes up with the stuff that she does.
That rocks.
I know, and I'm like, this is something she could totally do.
Absolutely. And there's it's like replete with people talking about that going, I like, certainly as the series goes on, it interviews people who joined later on. They're like, I
Yeah,
saw these guys in magazines and I was like, this is a job you can do.
yeah,
Wow, I
yeah,
want to do this, and
yeah,
that rocks. I love it.
yeah. So I think it's like it's inspiring them. It's inspiring me,
Yeah.
like finding out how they made the Millennium Falcon and
Yeah.
why it looks the way it looks because there was a pile of dirty dishes in the sink and that gave them an idea. Like it's like blowing my mind.
It
So
is.
thank
Cool.
you.
Good. I'm so glad you're
I
enjoying it.
normally don't always listen to the things that you recommend, but
Yeah.
this is really good.
She still hasn't watched Shogun, everybody.
I have
Still.
not. I have
Oh,
not.
anyway. Um,
What about
so
you?
what's been bringing me joy is a video game called Crypt Custodian.
Hmm.
It's
Ooh,
like
that's a
it's
great title.
isn't it? Basically what happens is it's really kind of rad. It's just really kind of funny and cute and like the combats and it's like I really kind of love the sort of video game where I can head in a direction and I can just explore and it kind of gives you that.
Mhm.
But the setup is essentially you're this like it's a really great setup. Essentially you arrive and you're like, oh, this is the gates of heaven. Here's what you need to do. You need to go over here, you need to collect this broom, and then you need to come back. And like basically when you get the broom, it teaches you like, use the broom to like swing it about. You can smash stuff. Basically to get back, you have to smash these vases and stuff. So you go back, you get the broom, you go back, and you go up to the desk, and they're like, oh, let me just review your life. Oh, because you're a cat, and they're like, oh, you had a wonderful life, you were really caring, you were like great with your owners. You're definitely going to get in through the nice door. And then it's like, wait a minute. Once you got here, you picked up a broom and you just started smashing everything. And you're like, well, but I thought I was supposed to do that. And it's no excuse. You've got to go to the bad place essentially, and you've got to like clean up everything. And that's the setup. And basically, you find that the lady who kind of runs the gate is deeply corrupt, and that's what the story is. But it was really wonderful, and it's really kind of beautifully designed, really kind of nice animation style, and really kind of nice design sensibilities. So yeah, I really loved it.
Good. I love
So
it.
yeah, cool. Okay. So Beth, can you tell everybody where they can find
You
us?
can find us at bendypodcast.com. And yeah, if you have any movie recommendations that you want to hear us chat about, just you can shoot us an email, find
Yeah.
us on all of the social media platforms, and yeah, let us know.
And like any feedback as well you've got on this, because like I mean I
Mhm.
think even us doing this, we've learned a few different things. But like if there's
Mhm.
things that you think you'd like us to talk about a bit more, or areas you'd like us to go a bit deeper into, we'd love
Mhm.
to hear that as well.
Yes.
Cool. All right, folks. In that case, we've come to the end of our episode, and we'd like to remind you, as always, to stay bendy.
Bendy.
Oh, beautiful. And on our
Nice.
a perfect one for our new venture.
Right? Good
So,
job, Andy.
yeah, good job, Beth. All
All
right, we
right.
love you.
Love you guys.
Bye
Bye.
bye.